time when talking about one's ailment was a big no due to the fear of getting stigmatized, but not anymore. Because now people have come to acknowledge that spreading awareness is the only way to go about destigmatizing things. November 17 is National Epilepsy Day, and according to WHO, around 50 million people have been diagnosed with epilepsy globally, and most of the people are not even aware. So, what exactly epilepsy is? Let's hear from an expert.
Epilepsy or seizures as we call, what happens in this, if we say with a common language, it is something that there is an abnormal firing in the brain. There is abnormal circulatory discharge which happens in the brain, which can be of many types, like it can involve only some part of the brain, so which is known as a focal seizures. So the patient might just have a tingling or a numbness sensation or a weakness in one arm and the patient becomes normal. So there is no loss of consciousness in there. Or sometimes it can involve the whole body such that the patient has abnormal movements in the body, the patient becomes unconscious, there is frothing from the mouth, there can be tongue bite, the person can pass urine, so there is another form. And the third, it could be, you could have a combination that starts on one side and that involves the whole of the brain. So it can be a focal seizures, generalized seizures, and there are other different types of seizures also.
Only recently, public figure, the actress Fatima Sana Sheikh has opened up about living with epilepsy. And before her, it was an actor, Govinda, who had publicly talked about his battle with epilepsy. Now some might ask, is it communicable? Is it genetic? So let our expert bust some myths.
Which is very important to know about the myth as well as what we need to do in these patients. Like suppose if we see that the patient is having seizures, then first and foremost thing, we should not panic. That's the first important thing. Second, we should make that person, like suppose if he's standing or sitting in a chair, make him sit on the ground so that he doesn't injure himself, remove any article by which he can injure himself. And we need to see the other person, we can call for some other person and the other person can see that time frame when the patient is having seizures and how much period is it lasting. Next, what we need to see is that we should not put anything in the mouth or anything, like people, they generally put some type of guards in the mouth, or they can put different spoons or different things in the mouth. That should not be done, because the patient can take it and he can injure himself, so we should not do all those things. There are a number of things, people do, like putting the shoes near the nose and all. That should not be done in this condition. Why? Because that doesn't help out in the seizures control, and the people have myth that it controls the seizures, but generally what happens, seizures are very short lasting and they improve by themselves and we don't need to do anything about that. Once the patient is having seizures, we should not just try to hold the patient too tight, only we should see that they do not get injured by themselves. Next important thing is we should make the patient turn on one side so that all the secretion which are present in the mouth, it comes out, we can wipe them out and it doesn't go into their respiratory system. So we should just make the person sit on one side, and meanwhile we should call for some of the medical attendants so that they can come and we can take a person to the hospital. The stigmata that they should not go out, or they have problem in the marriages, and also we should just educate people as much as possible. It is just like any other disease. We take a medicines and it improves in most of the conditions. So they should not be stigmatized. They should rather be made to make more confident in their activities, and we should see that the patient is taking his medicines regularly. Those patients are walking up regularly, taking their food regularly. That's what we need to do.
So next time you find yourself in a dilemma or wondering if you should talk about your illness in public, remember, spreading awareness is important. And if you found this video helpful, do share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to SHOWSHA for more such content.